Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me well? One, two, one, two. One, two, one, two. Can you hear me now? Wonderful. Good morning, everyone. It's very good to see a full house to talk about bioeconomy. I am Flávia Balaguarda. I am the institutional representative of the the Brazil Center of Climate, and we are here for the launching of the Pará Bioeconomy Plan, and I hope this panel will inspire us to innovate and bring solutions, generating wealth with natural resources at the same time as we respect the resources and local communities who live from that. Without further ado, I'm going to call the panel. Please, Governor Elder Barbalho, come to the stage. I'd like to call the Quilombo leader, Érica Monteiro, and also the indigenous leader, Wistember, and the Ivanildo Brilhante, the extractivist leader, the Secretary of Environment Sustainability from Pará, Mauro de Almeida, and the TNC Brazil Director, José Otávio Passos. And we are going to have as well the former Minister Isabela Teixeira, but she is with the UN Secretary and she will be soon with us. To start, I'd like to give the floor to the Secretary of Sustainability, Mauro Almeida. You have a mic behind you. Can you hear me well? Good morning, everyone. This is a special day for the state of Pará, for us in particular, and the Secretariat engaged in the bioeconomy plan. It's a collective construction. Since the beginning, we established a group of 41 representatives. We've heard more than 300 people in hearings in different municipalities and hubs in the state of Pará to build one of the tools for reaching the net zero goals of Pará. When established under the leadership of Governor Elder at COP25, the conceptual phase of the Amazon plan, we had an idea of the challenge, but it was an exhaustive challenge with many connections being built. But now we have the baseline ready. And in the moment when we are leaving the implementation COP, this is the time. We have 89 actions divided in support to science and technology, sustainable productive chains, the creation of the bioeconomy park with the innovation and knowledge ecosystem, the knowledge school, knowledge from the forest school. Pará, once more, under the leadership of Governor Elder, will be an example of bioeconomy in a state that is aiming at being carbon neutral until 2026. And I won't be long because the governor is going to speak as the great representative and leader of this initiative. But I'd like to thank the participation of our colleagues from the traditional communities, the indigenous communities and Quilombo communities who had a decisive participation in the safeguard of their representations with the connection of ancestors. Somebody said that bioeconomy is the economy of care and the economy of people. That was the exercise that the state of Pará did in the last year. We established the guidelines of the bioeconomy plan and the World Forum of Bioeconomy that we had in the state of Pará, and then we set at 1 year a deadline to deliver that at COP27, so we're doing so. So thank you so much for everyone who participated, and let's implement this plan. Thank you so much, Secretary. I will give the floor to the TNC Brazil Director, José Otávio Passos, to talk about the state plan of bioeconomy. Thank you, Flávia. First, I'd like to thank you all. I was invited for this panel, and I'm very happy because it was very important to us to be part of this plan. I'd like to greet Governor Helder Barbalho for his leadership, Secretary Mauro de Almeida, Érica Ivoai, who are here at the panel. I'd like to talk about 3 points of the plan bill which are important for us to understand the importance of the plan and how it's going to be transformative for Pará and the Amazon. The first, it was a collective process of reconstruction. Second, that is a robust plan that is directing the plan. And the third point is the challenge, which is the implementation of the plan. About the first point, most of all, I'd like to talk about the leadership of the Secretariat of Environment in the process. Secretary Mauro, Raul, Camila, Camille, they were key to coordinate all this process with the goodwill they had. It was crucial for the plan to develop so well. So to recognize this key role of the state and the opening they had to work with us. TNC dedicated almost 15 people with the fields of science, conservation, public policies to support the plan. Besides, we also counted with CBC, who supported us in constructing the plan, and that was possible because we had the support of the Norway government GCF task force and the UNDP. So that was key for us to have resources to build the plan. Since the beginning, it was a collective construction. We have a multi-stakeholder construction with the civil society, private service, government, Quilombo communities, extractive communities, indigenous peoples, and the academy. And through the process, we've had more than 15 hearings, 12 of them inside the government. So the entire government was engaged. All the secretariats were heard, thinking about as a development plan from the state. And the second point is that the plan is very positive. TNC with Natura and IDB had a study of 30 biodiversity chains. And in 2019, these chains added 5.6 million reais of added values. This value could be 30 times more, a great potential for the bioeconomy, especially the bioeconomy of social diversity in the state of Pará. In a state with more than 70% of forest coverage and more than 60% of the forest are protected and cared by indigenous people, Quilombo and traditional communities, is also very important for the social bio, given the importance of social bio. And it's key to think about social bio as food security. In the scenario of climate change, this is an adapting plan. The superfood from the Amazon also come from social bio, and they can guarantee our sovereignty and food security. And about implementation, we have this great challenge of implementation, and Sema will have this challenge of coordinating that, but not alone, with the steering committee that was created with a decree by the governor, and they will count with the continuous collective construction. It's a very modern plan that is ready to adapt to reality, bringing this element of this continuous construction. And I'd like to congratulate the state government for the state plan of bioeconomy, and I'd like to thank again for the invitation. Count on us. Technical issues solved. Now I'd like to show a video showing the bioeconomy project to illustrate the right speeches, giving more details about the project so that you can know it better. And then we're going to give the floor to the powerful voices that are more and more inserted in this process of hearing and production and execution of the project. Thank you.
O Pará é uma das maiores reservas da biodiversidade do planeta. Quase 70% deste imenso território são cobertos pela floresta amazônica, o maior bioma do mundo. Também é no Pará que se concentra a maior quantidade de povos e comunidades tradicionais do Brasil, especialmente os ribeirinhos, indígenas, quilombolas e extrativistas. Nos últimos anos, o governo do estado transformou o Pará em pioneiro na implementação da bioeconomia no Brasil, adotando um modelo de transição socioeconômica para o desenvolvimento sustentável, inclusivo e justo. No Pará, esse modelo deixa de ser exceção e vira regra com a implementação do Plano Estadual de Bioeconomia, ancorado na política estadual sobre mudanças climáticas e no Plano Estadual Amazônia Agora. A fábrica Filha do Combu é uma perfeita tradução da bioeconomia paraense. Dona Nena faz o chocolate com cacau orgânico, receitas ancestrais, sistemas integrados e produção sustentável.
O objetivo principal é continuar o legado, das gerações passadas, para que ele se mantenha, que as pessoas saibam respeitar a floresta, como uma forma de gerar renda, mas também de proteger essas espécies dentro da floresta.
Outro bom exemplo vem da 100% Amazônia, empresa referência na criação e exportação de bioprodutos, com base no respeito à floresta e às pessoas.
Então esse era o propósito, proteger a natureza, reconhecer as pessoas mais simples que precisam mais de reconhecimento, de valor, e é o coletivo, economia circular, que todos ganham.
A 100% Amazônia e a Filha do Combu se encaixam em 2 dos 3 eixos do Plano Estadual de Bioeconomia: patrimônio cultural e patrimônio genético, e cadeias produtivas e negócios sustentáveis. O terceiro eixo é o de pesquisa, desenvolvimento e inovação, o que já vem sendo feito no LabTex, por exemplo.
Tudo começa, por exemplo, na floresta. A gente traz para o laboratório matérias-primas através desse conhecimento tradicional e aí a gente desenvolve todo o processo para a obtenção do princípio ativo que possa ser usado para benefício na saúde humana.
Para consolidar o plano de bioeconomia, o primeiro do Brasil, o Pará mergulhou nas próprias raízes. Trouxe para o debate os pesquisadores, as universidades, os empreendedores, as ONGs, os quilombolas, os extrativistas e os indígenas.
Porque nós já cuida da floresta, nós cuida dos nossos rios, nós cuida da nossa cultura, nós queremos se fortalecer. Então nós temos uma riqueza, essa riqueza ela precisa ser valorizada.
Mais de 250 representantes de povos originários foram ouvidos nas regiões de Marabá, Belém, Santarém e Altamira em reuniões históricas. Com entregas
to say that historically the policy came designed to the populations, and now there's a difference. There's a difference in making for the people than making with the people. Historically, there's th- there's this lack of appreciation for the traditional communities and indigenous communities who are preserving the environment, and we must honor the wisdom of those who have the knowledge of the forest, who integrate their lives with the forest. It was very bold because there's a time for elaborating the this enabled us to do something different. Secretariat, this practice is making us have hope with new horizons, engaging populations, valuing populations, and balance conservation and livelihood. The focus of the media is deforestation. So we should take care of this virus, which is deforestation, as we take care of a sick person. We take care of those who are sick, but we also take care of those who are healthy to maintain them healthy. So we should give this vaccine with the credit for the extractivist community. I don't have to finance acai and nuts only, but all the set of biodiversity, not to pressure a single product. And then I'm going to, in fact, guarantee this living forest, conserved forest, with this good relationship and with protagonism. We should debunk this myth that those who are taking care of the forests are lazy. We must be seen by Brazil, by Pará, by the world as a protagonist of conservation, because our culture, our well-being is connected to sustainability. And this is a thing not of primitive ones, but a thing of evolved communities. So I think about this community. Let's have more hearings, more monitoring, so that each year we can improve this plan so that the result is social inclusion, guaranteeing the living forest, conserved forest, and the socio-economic development of our state. I'm very grateful. And also Representative Ailton Faleiro is also a very is very hardworking with this environmental cause. And I'd like to thank the Secretariat team and the Secretary Mauro, because we feel when people are committed, our body feels, and the way how you are in the process, smiling, listening, understanding the others, because there are different narratives and so on. And I'm very grateful for the participation of the population. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful to be with you. And I'd like to give the floor to Erika Monteiro, the Quilombo leader. Welcome, everyone. I am Erika Monteiro. I'm from the state of Pará. I am a Quilombo representative of this organization called Malungo, that is the coordination of the remaining communities in the state of Pará, and I am part of CONAC, the National Coordination of Quilombo Communities.
Desse momento, então eu agradeço ao governador pelo convite, agradeço ao secretário da SEMAS pela oportunidade e toda a estrutura.
Thank you very much to the coordinator for the invitation and the whole structure that brought us this far. I would like to here. For me, this is a moment as important as the discussion of this process. I would like to say that you can no longer work for us without us. So the quilombolas of the state of Pará followed the whole process of the social bioeconomy process, and that was very important because we were able to include the issues related to our people. We discussed with this plan the red safeguards. TNC contributed to this process of articulation, and I would like to say that saving the Amazon doesn't mean only trees and animals. We have people there. There are quilombolas, indigenous people, and extractivists, and we are paying we have organized crime, we have insecurity, and these have been very relevant factors. The leaders are strongly threatened because they try to save this nature, because we try to save our territories. So we want to say that building this plan with the peoples will work. The risk of not working is very small because the construction is made with us. So these safeguards that we built, we ask them to be given a special attention, especially when it comes to health, education, and the territorial issue. This has been a very difficult process, even though my tag is description. Sometimes we have different issues, but we're always in dialogue, and our dialogue can build many things. This process is very important. Thank you very much. And I would like to say that this COP is a COP of the NGOs and the social movements. It's very clear that all the constructions that are built with the social movements work. So the state of Pará is in the right path. Congratulations and good luck to everyone. Thank you very much, Erica. Continuing with the powerful voices, I would like to pass the floor to the indigenous leader, Kitembe. Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Governor. Good morning, Erica, Secretary, my friend. Célia Chaquiabá, Sônia Guajajara. We can no longer build a Brazil without the presence of the indigenous peoples. And we cannot talk the bioeconomy of a project. We can no longer talk about an institutional plan. This is not an institutional plan. This is a transversal plan without the without the presence of those leaders. I would like to thank the government of Pará that has learned and is learning how to bring the indigenous peoples, the traditional peoples to the dialogue. We don't want to fight. We want to build. The scientific knowledge, and we want to add a lot to this. We want to add to this plan, but we want to go beyond this plan. We want to contribute to the story that is only written in the papers. We want to bring our true story of today, of indigenous women. We want to occupy spaces that we never should have left. And talking about the plan is an honor for us. This is a plan built by us, and we want this plan of the state of Pará to be an example of to the other states of Brazil. The Amazon is not going to save Brazil by itself. We have many other biomes in Brazil that need to be observed. And it's not going to save by itself in the world. So we would like to draw the attention of the governments and of the entities to look at the other biomes that Brazil has. I am from the state of Pará. I am from the Itembé people. I am from Alto Ribamar. I am the president of the Federation of the Indigenous Peoples of the state today, called FEPIPA, and we have joined the state government to build public policies. And the bioeconomy plan was not different. It had the participation of the indigenous peoples in its construction process. And thank you very much for having us as part of this history. Thank you very much, Secretary Mauro. You to internalize the indigenous agenda more and more, not only in the environmental agenda. We cannot only talk about the environment, we have to reforest the minds of the society, taking love not only to this plan. Talking about this beautiful plan is talking about life, because we're talking about social bioeconomy. We're talking about life, not only about plants and fruit. We're talking about the living beings that we have in the forest. We have in every biome in Brazil, and they have to be protected. So count on the Federation of the Indigenous Peoples in the state of Pará. Count on me as a mother, as a woman, as a leader, as an activist. I am very confident that Pará is in the right path. Because we're going to be more and more part of this evolution. Let 2023 come. Thank you very much.
Vamos! Que os biomas vêm.
Let the biomes come. I'll send a kiss to the First Lady who has followed all of this policy in the state of Pará. Thank you very much for being involved. You are a woman ahead of your time. Thank you very much for being the First Lady in the state of Pará that involved in these policies. Thank you to the representative Ayrton Faleiro, who is our colleague in this fight. We have Representative Molon as the protocol here. I have to greet these women and recognize their role and their struggle. We have struggled a lot to elect them. Thank you very much, Minas, São Paulo, Brazil, who have believed in this reforestation policy. We want to take love, solidarity, affection to the Brazilian people into the world. Thank you very much. And now, to wrap up this brilliant launch, I would like to invite Governor Elde. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to say that it's an honor for the state of Pará to that built this plan. On behalf of Erica, I would like to thank everyone in the communities of Black men and women in our state, all of the quilombos in Pará. Likewise, I would like to greet you, Puira, and extend my thanks to all of the indigenous peoples. Thank you very much for being in this construction since the beginning. Thank you for challenging us to be always in this process of transformation and transition. I would like to greet you, Evanildo, and in It's a great joy to debate bioeconomy and forest solutions with the participation of the original peoples and with the participation of the society. I would like to greet here on behalf of Mauro, our Secretary of the Environment of the state. I would like to greet all the government team that listened to the communities and studied the science and the innovation technology so that we could take the proposal of and study the transition of the use of the Norwegian government, who was a very important partner in this process, the UNEP, the UNDP, the partners of the United Nations, everybody who was paramount for us to get here. And I would like to say that this plan is a chapter of a great challenge. As everybody knows, the state of Pará, throughout the last few years, throughout the last few decades, has represented the state that emitted the most CO2 in the atmosphere in the Brazilian territory. And that has placed us the challenge of how to build a solution that would allow us to transition into the better use of the land. Is 6,000 square kilometers. We have in our territory 3 Germanys, Portugal, Spain, and France together. We have a demographic occupation spread throughout all the regions of the state. We have an occupational formation that stimulated in previous decades the use of the land from deforestation, from agriculture, cattle farming, cattle raising, We are the biggest province of iron ore in Brazil. So we have economic vocations directly linked to the use of soil. But we knew that it wouldn't be possible to build with solid foundations, something sustainable and long-lasting, if we didn't have the capacity to build a diagnosis and build a plan with the participation of the society, with the participation of the universities, and with the participation of all the collective of scientists, of experts, but experts that could add the knowledge of the ancestors and the knowledge of the technology. We wanted to create a consortium of the knowledge of the past, the knowledge of the present, and state policy of climate change, not being an instrument of government, but being an instrument of state. We started designing the plan Amazon Now through a governmental decree, the actions that could solidify this transformation of the social, environmental, and economic reality of Pará. First, with the monitoring, supervision, and control. Secondly, with a review of the land of the use of the land through land regularization and environmental regularization, classifying the sustainable uses. Paramount that we can identify that the state, the size of Pará, has to take into consideration 3 key points. People, we have 9 million Brazilians who live in the state of Pará, and almost 30 million who live in the Amazon, so we have to preserve the forest. We have a state that has almost 70% of its territory preserved. And on the other hand, the economy. In the economy department, how could we conciliate the vocations of today, being the biggest province of iron ore and other minerals of Brazil as a whole, and production of cocoa in Brazil, having the biggest production of açaí in Brazil, having the biggest production of black pepper in Brazil, and seeing the last few years new crops that are advancing significantly, like soy, like corn, and like rice. How could we build these activities together with sustainability without having to propose an economic collapse for a change in the use of land? That was our biggest challenge. Research, development, and innovation. Production chain, sustainability, and innovation. And we are sure that with the participation of society, with the participation of all of the actors that were involved in this plan, it is ready to be the construction of tomorrow in the state of Pará. So that from bioeconomy, we can generate income, we can guarantee a solution that is environmental, but is at the same time social, that it's sustainable in the use of the land, but is sustainable as well to employ people, that is sustainable to guarantee to call to the civil society so that the civil society can continue building this with us and the private initiative so that they can join us and continue betting on the biodiversity of Pará and betting on the capacity of the state so that the biome of the state can be the new asset for sustainable development. I would like to call the institutions like the UN that is already helping us in food production so that we can guarantee that everybody is in this moment of economic transition where we can use the land appropriately so that the land can be the asset for the generations of today and the generations of tomorrow.
Oportunidade que o consórcio interestadual
and the representatives coming from the Brazilian Congress, the Governor Casagrande as well. And I'd like to say that, my dear Pui, this experience of the state of Pará should be the challenge of Brazil and at the same time presenting itself as the solution for this country. And may the example of the state of Pará of understanding its dimension and protagonism to the challenge of Brazil can resonate in Brazil and in the world so that we can build the solution of conciliating people and living forests in favor of the climate and the community. Thank you so much. You need to leave using this door because we all know what's coming next, right? Wait for the picture, just a second. Did we take the picture? Now we can leave.
you can help me ask the people to remove because you know Lula is coming soon, so we need.
They know.